Good evening. Welcome to Business Hub, your one-stop business mart where we link up business owners with their target markets. My name is Omobolanle Adesuy. Today on Business Hub, we're going into the world of clothing business. And I have with me in the studio this evening Olowolaju Theophilus Itunu, CEO iTouch Clothing. Good evening.
Good evening.
Is it okay to call you Itunu?
Yeah, Itunu, that's my best part.
Okay, so what do you do at iTouch Clothing?
Yeah, we okay, I don't want to be selfish now, so let me sound professional. We are into African fabrics. We make Afrocentric kind of African outfits.
Okay.
Like the urban and Western and African kind of fabrics that we match together to create the African fabric.
Okay, so it's a blend of both urban and African.
Yeah.
What gave you that concept?
I remember when I was growing up, my dad used to call me, not like he calls me crazy, but he feels I'm a very weird person. I don't like natives. I don't like wearing natives. So when he asks us to do, this Ashwabi kind of thing, that's been a long time ago. So I would always try to create a niche for myself, like wear jeans on the top of my buba, and then people be like, what's wrong with this boy? Are they like punishing you in your house? Are you an outcast? Are you sure this might give birth to you? And I'll be like, I'm just trying to create an art for myself and all. Although I'm an artist, so that's been in my head since childhood.
So how long have you been doing this?
Very quite short while. About 15 years.
15 years. How humble. Okay, so now looking at the fashion industry, the clothing business which you're doing, what would you say are the main challenges?
Okay, I remember when I started, I actually got fund from a reliable source, which I was able to push into it, although it wasn't enough. One of the major challenges is always finances, money.
Do you need a lot of finance to start a clothing business?
Basically, if you have a target, if you have a style of concept, you would need the amount of money required. Like you might need so much. For quite a number of years now, there's this machine that I've been targeting, and till that comes, I have to keep doing what I do.
Is it the
very
electric
expensive
machine?
You definitely, the ones we used to are electrics, but the truth is it costs about 12 million. Yeah, so but for you to achieve the real aesthetic Afrocentric kind of look that you wanted, so you have to always, I still anticipate to get it someday.
Okay, so is it lucrative, this business?
It is very lucrative.
Considering the fact that you have to spend so much capital to start up.
Yeah, there's a future. There's a future. There is an expected end.
Okay.
So I look forward to having a lot of workers, driving a lot of young people off the street, creating job opportunities for people, making people feel so industrious and resourceful.
Okay, so now looking at the current situation of Nigeria's approach to made in Nigeria goods, how would you say we're faring?
From my own hand, or from my perspective, I think we're doing well.
Okay.
And then if you're into a kind of business like this, you have to create your own style of business and your kind of market. When I remember those days when I started, my focus was on the foreigners, because they tend to appreciate the African culture, the African art, the craft that we do here. So that's
do
one
they
of the
appreciate
things.
it
They do
more than we do?
100%.
More than we do?
Yes. Still yesterday, I still got a call from California, guy requesting if you could. I was surprised when I saw a BET award with the guy. I won't mention his name, but I was so amazed when I got that. It means that someday this will be accepted all over the world, and that's been our dream.
Okay, so looking at the fashion business in Nigeria, what would you say the Nigerian youth, what would you say has been some of the obstacles on the way? Because yes, we know that this is one area where everyone wears clothes. So what would you say are the obstacles? Are we evolving, or how has it been so far?
I feel we're getting better by the day. And most youths they dazzle into this place they call fashion, because they want to end ends meet, they want to eat. But this is a passion that I have from childhood. I remember when I was serving, every of my alawi coat, I throw them back into fabrics,
Where do you get your fabrics from?
I travel as far as Aba. I get some from the location here.
Ibadan?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. Yeah, and then sometimes when clients come travel down from abroad down to Nigeria, they get stuffs for me. Most people might want the kind of fabrics of their choice, so I could persuade them to help me get them.
So as an artist, you also draw out the design yourself.
Yeah.
I saw also while reading your profile that you go into dressing up or clothing models. How has that been?
It's been fun. It's one of my favorite parts of fashion, but I do that when I feel I'm out of, maybe I've overworked myself and I feel to relax. I feel like relaxing, so I just go into the industry and then clothe people and see people rock the outfit on the runway. I've done couples of, I can't even mention.
Tell us about some of them.
I've been to Nigerian Student Fashion Week. I've been to Mr. Ideal Nigeria, Miss Ideal Nigeria. A lot of them. So
what would you say has been the highlight for you when you see? Is it when you see them take a walk on the runway, or when they put on the clothes designed by you, or when they actually get the award or win the award because they were clothed by you?
It makes you feel good and you want to get better in the things you do. Now, when they rock those outfits on the runway, I see them like artworks. That's the way I perceive models when they rock my outfit. So it helps me to correct if there are niches, if I need to get better in places, maybe the materials or the art on the fabrics. It just helps me to get better. Like I said, I enjoy what I do.
Okay, so what's your competitive edge? Because yes, we know that there are a lot of people in this fashion industry, a lot of people doing clothing, textiles and all. What would you say is your competitive edge?
Like I used to tell myself, that's a personal issue. I'm not in competition with anybody. The greatest competition you could have is yourself. Create a niche, break the record, create another niche, keep breaking it till you get better. And I have so many young people that looked up to me in that area and had not failed. Because when you compete with yourself, you get better. I'm not in competition with anybody. A lot of people try to steal the idea, the concept. It is not their dream, so they don't last in the game. They just, they just still fall back. But the truth is, I encourage people to come learn. When you learn from I won't call myself a master now, but in my field, I'm a master of what I do. I'd been to several African countries where I'd tried to sell these things to their market and they were 100% accepted.
You must have also enrolled for some form of training or the other where you learned how to do
learned, like I said, I studied, I finished from the Obafemi Awolowo University where I studied fine and applied art.
Okay.
So these are the things that had helped me. I studied painting, so my own canvas, like my platform is the fabric that I make this art on, and then my clients are let me use the word canvas.
Okay, so for the average Nigerian youth who wants to learn this, what does it take to learn?
Those days I really don't charge much in those days, but I notice a lot of young people. A lot of people, they take it for granted, But the truth is, I have a saying, and my grandpa told me sometime, it is whatever you buy with money, you appreciate it more, it has value. But if you feel I didn't pay for this thing, you will lose interest easily. And the truth is, I don't take you through all the teaching areas immediately you come. You have to serve, you have to go through the discipline aspect, and then by that time that I discover that you are getting better, I can now start to introduce you to the rudiments of the art.
All right, let's take a short break. It's still Business Hub on Impact Africa Television, IATV. We'll be right back. So glad to know you're still there on Business Hub, watching us right here on Impact Africa Television, IATV. My name is Omobolanle Adesuy, and I still have Itunu right here in the studio from iTouch Collectibles.
Yeah.
Sometimes I mix it up with... There was a part where you said it's iTouch Collectibles, then there's a part where you said iTouch Clothing. But I know they mean the same thing, actually. Okay, so now looking at that name, iTouch Clothing, where did you coin the name from?
That name is a very powerful story. And then I don't want to sound extremely spiritual, but at the same time, I would say I got the inspiration from God.
Okay.
God, we use the word I am and then touch. So I matched it together. I actually received it when I was really,
so every time we wear your clothes, we're receiving God's touch.
Of God on you already.
That is
we are his handiwork already. And then he said everything he made, they are beautiful. So if you are beautiful and you're rocking, man, you complete.
You are looking amazing. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the area of entrepreneurship of the youth in Nigeria. Do you think that the average Nigerian youth is open to getting their hands into business and making some ends meet for themselves? And if you think so, what do you think has been the challenges so far? Because these days we still see some youth at home, they don't have any job to do, they don't have anything to do. Why are we not making use of the opportunities that lie? Because you just identified an opportunity and you've been able to do this for over 10 years now. What do you think is a problem if you think the average Nigerian youth is open to entrepreneurship?
Yeah, when I was growing up, I didn't grow up to start placing blames on people. The greatest problem that I could have in life is me. And whatever I am going to venture into, I do it with the whole of my heart. I give my best into whatever I do. And then most youths that sit at home, I feel a lot of us have not discovered purpose because there's a drive, and then when you take your time to find it, when you begin to do the things that you find pleasure in doing, you discover that you do them well. And then, like sometimes I was under somebody preaching, sometimes you said some people's wealth or their success, it lies at stewardship. A lot of young people don't know how to serve. They are not ready to serve a master. And when you avoid serving, you discover that there is no place of discipline. So when you sit at home doing nothing, we have a lot of people that sit at home and they are making millions on their systems or not internet fraudulent acts now. There are a lot of things you could do through Google, download stuffs. You can, we even see a lot of students converting English words to Yoruba and then selling it on social media. They are making their money.
So how do you recruit? Because I'm sure you don't do all this alone. It's
of course I don't. Like I said earlier, I'm trying to get a lot of youth off the street, but I can't start knocking doors on people too. But I'm open to, people who are interested because it deals with your mind. If your mind is not at it and people are just forcing you to do what you don't want to do, it's just like you come in to just waste my time. So when I see that you have passion, like I have a couple of young boys at my place, they just finished secondary school and then they just felt like we just ate sitting at home, and I told them I had to enlighten them about art. I said it's a very interesting aspect of life that a lot of people have not really discovered. Like you see a lot of young people, youths going into tailoring, makeup and all. There are other things they could venture into, paintings, painting of artwork, sculpture and all. But most people feel they are hard work. But the truth is, when it gets to that point when you get happy, like it brings you joy when you do them, you discover that most things are not even stress. They are pleasure.
But what about the capital? Because you just talked about capital now.
Yeah,
some youth don't even have that capital.
Yeah, it wasn't like what I said. It wasn't like the capital came at once. First, I knew what I wanted to do. So when the capital came, I was able to do something. It wasn't rosy when it came. Like before,
so some people don't even know what they want to do. So
I started with 2 fabrics all my life. I started with 2, and 2 became 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 10 to 12 to 15. And
how do you build your customer base?
Yeah, my customer base are social media.
Okay.
And then when I go for events, I try to look good as much as possible. Most events I go to, I get people.
So when you look tapping, people can come and ask.
Yeah, smell good, dress fine. you know. And then, from even the truth is, most of us, we never had the opportunity to be trained by our parents. So we were trained by our grandmothers, by aunties, and
You
then
were
we
trained
did.
by your grandmother.
Yeah. When I was quite young, I lost my parent quite young, like I said.
Sorry
So
about that.
there was this push. I had an interview sometime, and they asked me. They said, "What was my greatest fear?" I said, "Poverty." I want to feed people. I want to see people smile because I am hardworking. Because I just want to put smiles on people's
So
faces.
you feed them by employing them and getting
Yeah,
their...
and in fact, a lot of people sleep at my office. The kind of structure that I have, there's a place you can sleep. You
Wow.
can pass a night if you're far from home. If you're far, like the workplace, if it's far from your home, you could pass a night. I feed them at night before they go to bed. I feed them during the day. It's like an NGO. We have a foundation.
What's
Touch
the
Life.
name of your foundation?
iTouch Life's foundation.
Oh.
Yeah, so we do go at the end of the year. We go to, let me use the word, pardon me, less privileged people who don't have a plan of what to eat in the next minute. We strive to, it's about 3 years now, and we get better by the year.
Quite impressive what you're doing, and I must say well done.
Thank you.
But let's also talk about the issue of artisans not keeping to time.
Okay.
So you tell this artisan, I want my clothes ready at this particular time, or
Okay.
maybe the person's a photographer or a clothing designer, and you're like, okay, I need my material at this particular time. And then he or she goes, oh, wow, you get it even before then. Before you know it, they just
disappoint
fail.
you.
What do you think is responsible
All
for
right.
that?
When I started, there's this word they said fashion designers, or I am not a fashion designer, I'm a creative director. That's the word I crave for myself, because I do art on fabrics.
But you're an artisan.
Yeah, I am actually. But the truth is, the fact that I'm trying to create a niche out of it makes me develop the kind of style or the kind of approach I want to use in my deliveries.
Okay.
So I tell my clients, most times I ask them, please, when do you need these fabrics? When is the date that you want to use it? So if you tell me it's in 2 weeks, I'll tell you your fabrics will be ready in a week. So if I won't meet up in that 1 week, at most a day after. So they have a peace of mind,
But
because I
then
like
they
it when
know.
they are always aware. So I like it when they do their fittings before they eventually rock the clothes, because sometimes it might look too big, it might look too small. There's always room for correction. It doesn't make you inferior or non-professional. It's a style that I created, and then every young person that came to learn from me, I indulge them into this act, because at the point when you start coming late for activities, you stand a chance of disappointing people. And then most people, even when they get late to places, they are unapologetic. They feel it's their right. I don't see things as right. I see things as privilege. Like, privileges is not my right. I just beg, please, client, I'll make it up to you sometime. But the beauty of it is just delivering at the best time.
Okay, so how do you eventually, when you get, is there a point where they get to graduate and then start their own businesses?
Yeah, there's a point where they get to graduate. Like what I said, we make art. Art is what we do. Before they eventually decide on what they want to do with themselves, I take them on exhibitions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they have the privilege to travel with me. It might be outside the state. We've been to Abuja, but the international trip, I've gone alone for the exhibitions, African countries. And then there was the last time I was at Dubai, I had a brief exhibition there on a runway. So we create an opportunity for them. If you do better in the things that you do, and I used to indulge them to pray. Everything works out when you pray, and then you ask God for direction. It helps you out. And then I tell them, if your time here favors me, it won't cost me anything to buy you a ticket to travel with me. It won't cost me, because I will know God has really blessed me because you are here. And if you're hardworking enough, things will work out. But if you withdraw from job, you discover that it will affect everybody. So I see everybody as a team.
All right. What's your advice on the final note to the youth out there who also want to get engaged in something productive?
My advice is for you to create something first. and then you just follow your dreams. Yeah, and don't forget to always inform God about it. Like what I said, the name thingy, the creativity, it all comes from God. Nobody is nobody's a universal being or an alien. It all comes from God. It comes from thinking, and most times God will just drop it in your head, and you just discover you start doing. Most of this art, I just look at the fabric and I create. It's not like I have it somewhere in a sketch pad or something. Just create, and then the sky is a stepping stone for you.
All right, tell us where your office is located.
It's at Basharon, number 7, Matala Street, Winners Way, Ashi Road,
Your contacts?
080-5204-4676.
You can take it one more time.
080-5204-4676.
All right, your social media handle for those who want to reach you on social media.
Okay, on Instagram it is iTouch Collectibles.
Spelled as a word.
Yeah, ITOUCHA Collectibles.
Is it A or E?
He has an apostrophe.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
A.
But you could just write it straight up.
Because for people,
yeah, I was only trying to be professional about it. Come on.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Olowolaju
Yes.
Theophilus Itunu, CEO iTouch Clothing. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
coming
very
on the
much.
show
Thank you.
this evening. It's been a fantastic time speaking with Olowolaju Theophilus Itunu, and we've been talking about the clothing business in Nigeria. My name is Omobolanle Adesuy. Remember that Business Hub will be on YouTube, that's at IATV Africa, for you to watch this episode again. We would be calling it quits today. Thank you so much for being a part of the program. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.